Hello, it's Monika from Crafting with Qulling Lady and welcome to hashtag FFC Challenge 2023. In May, we're going to create a squash card. If you've never ever created a squash card, I've got diamond squash fancy fold for you with no cutting dice. If you'd like to know how to create it, I'm going to show you step by step how to do it. First, I'm going to need two panels that will measure 4 inches by 6 inches. I'm going to use my pencil to create a mark at 3 inches, rotate, 2 inches, rotate, 3 inches, rotate, and 2 inches. I'm going to repeat the same process on the other panel that measures exactly the same, 4 inches by 6 inches. Pencil mark at 3, rotate, 2 inches, rotate, 3 inches, rotate, and 2 inches. And that's how we're going to create our diamond. Super quick and simple. So now it is time to get a trimmer. And this one is from Creative Craft Products. And I'm going to use my trimmer, the blade, and I'm going to match all those pencil marks. So in the end, they will create a diamond. Super cool, right? So again, I'm following my pencil marks and I'm going to use the blade. If you want, you can also use a guillotine. However, I think the trimmer is your best friend when it comes to fancy folds. So again, I'm going to cut along my pencil marks and that is the front of the cut ready. I've got a perfect diamond shape. Again, I'm going to repeat that process. I'm going to put my pencil marks exactly where the cut line is and I'm going to use my blade on my trimmer from Craftstash. If you'd like to get this trimmer, I left the links in the description down below to everything I use in today's video. And when these panels are ready, then as you can see, we've got 2 diamonds. Now it will be time and move on to the next step. Here I've got 3 diamonds, however, I only need 2 to create my diamond squash card. So now let's create some other elements. I've got 6 inches by 4 inches. I'm going to score it exactly in half, which is 2 inches. And then I'm going to match the corners. So this is super easy, especially if you have a black line on your scoring board. So again, I'm going to match all those corners. And as you can see, we already have that really cool fold here. But do not worry, we have to create 2 more panels. So I'm going to put this one to the side and 2 other panels will measure 6 inches by 4.5 this time. So I'm going to score it at 2 inches and 4 inches. Now I'm going to rotate it and I'm going to match the score line I created with the corner. So this on the right side will be a flap to attach all those elements. And I'm going to show you later on how to do it. So again, as you can see, we match that corner with the flap. And I need 1 more panel measuring 6 inches by 4.5. I'm going to score it at 2, 4 inches, and then match the corners. But don't forget, only from the score line to the corner. And when these panels are ready, then it will be time to fold and burnish all those lines to make our fancy fold really easy to create. And if you haven't heard about hashtag FFC Challenge 2023, it is hosted by Monika PaperMona. And in that challenge, there are some amazing crafters taking part, which is Katarina, Christine, and also Jenny. So as you can see, every single month we're going to create a fancy fold, and May is dedicated to squash card. So at the end of this video, I'm going to leave the links to their videos, but also you can check all the links in the description down below with all the information. And we also have a Facebook group, which you can share your fancy folds there as well. So as you can see, I've got 3 panels here all together and 2 are slightly different because I do have that flap. So I'm going to show you how to cut the excess in a moment, which is super easy. You can use scissors or a trimmer. I'm going to use my trimmer first for the first one to cut the excess off, but then I think that actually using scissors is a better way. So I'm going to line it up with my trimmer and the blade, and as you can see, I do have the excess off. Super quick and simple, right? Now I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to put my flap at the back because I don't want to cut it. So I'm going to line it up with my cutting line. And if you want, you can always use your scissors, and that will be a very good option as well. And I'm going to do it later on. So as you can see, I'm going to line it up and then use my blade. If you cut a little bit of your flap, don't worry, I'm going to show you later on how to fix it. And at this point, I decided that actually using scissors would be a better option. So yes, you can always do it. Try not to cut the flap because it is very important for our next step to put all those elements together to create that diamond squash card. Have you ever created a squash card? If you haven't, I really hope this tutorial and other tutorials will inspire you to create your own version. So now, as you can see, I've got 3 panels ready. I'm going to make those flaps slightly smaller, so I'm going to cut the angle. And at this point, I wasn't very happy with one of the elements here, so I'm going to use my scissors and make some adjustments. And yes, you can always do it. And this way, it's going to look professionally finished. Now I'm going to use my liquid glue. But as you can see, I'm going to line it up first. And I think liquid glue is your best friend when it comes to fancy folds and any cut making projects, because this one is actually a book binding glue. So as you can see, we've got those 2 elements ready and they fold flat. Really cool. And if you want, you can use 5 by 7 inches envelope for this cut, or you can actually create your box. So as you can see here, I decided to cut a little bit off so everything is lined up beautifully. Now I'm going to put my last element here, and what's really missing here is the front and the back of the card. But as you can see, I need to cut a little bit of excess here, and I'm going to fix it. So here, I'm going to use my low tack tape. So yes, you can always do it as well, and no one will ever see it. I'm going to cut the excess at the top of the flap, and it will be time to put our diamonds, one at the front and one at the back. So I'm going to put it here. As you can see, it lines up beautifully. So I'm going to put my liquid glue on my card, and I'm going to put my diamond. So this way we only have the glue on half of the diamond. Now I'm going to open it. As you can see, we've got all the diamonds beautifully here, and I'm going to put the glue on the back, and I'm going to attach my last diamond. And that is the card base to create your diamond squash card. Do you like it? I really hope you do. And there will be plenty of space to write your message on the back. Now let's create some mats and layers for this card. I decided to use Crafter's Companion Glittering Gold card because it has that beautiful shine, and when you tilt the card, it catches the light beautifully. So I've got 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. I'm going to make a mark at 2 7/8 and then 1 7/8. So again, 2 7/8 and 1 7/8. I'm going to cut those lines, and then I'm going to create my mats and layers. So again, it is 1 7/8, 2 7/8, 1 7/8, and 2 7/8. So I need 2 panels here. And again, I'm going to use my trimmer from Craftash, and I'm going to create those cut lines. Super quick and simple. All you have to do is to line up your pencil marks, and this way you're going to have a perfect diamond, which I think is really cool. So as you can see, this card comes together pretty quickly. To be honest, it took me some time to figure out all the measurements, but in the end, I really wanted to challenge myself and create a slightly different squash card. And if you like this one, please let me know in the comments down below. So when this element is ready, then we can put it on the card. So in the end, we're going to need 3 diamonds like this, because one will be for the front of the card, and then 2 will go inside of the card. So in the end, we need 3 gold diamonds, which I think is really cool. And to be honest, you can use this fancy fold for any occasion, like even diamond wedding anniversary, which I think will be super cool. So now it will be time to assemble those elements on our card base. And if you want, you can always use a bone folder or your fingernail and then actually move all those lines here. And this way it will look professionally finished. Now I'm going to apply the glue because I do have time to maneuver the elements. When my first diamond is ready, I can put one at the back. If you have any excess of the card, that is the time to get rid of it. And it's always a good idea to use your scissors. So, as you can see, those diamonds are ready. And I also have some leftover gold that can go to the sides, the smaller triangles. So never ever throw those elements away because you can use them. And we also need to create some other elements for this card. So here I'm going to have a panel measuring 3.5 inches. I'm going to make a mark at 1 7/8. Then at 5.5, I'm going to make a mark at 2 3/4. So again, it is 2 3/4 and then 1 3/4. And now it will be time to cut those diamonds, which are slightly smaller. And the reason for this one inside is because we're going to cut it in half to have those 2 big triangles, which I think is really cool. And as you will see, all the mats and layers will perfectly fit. Now I'm going to cut it in half along the long line here, and this way everything will work together perfectly, which I absolutely love. So I do hope I will inspire you to create a slightly different squash card today. And if you like it, as I told you, you can leave the comment in the description down below. But also, don't forget to check our Facebook group. And this is amazing because every single month is dedicated to a different fancy fold. And May, we do have squash cards. So if you like this fancy fold, you have to check all other crafters and their beautiful makes. Jenny, Katarina, Monika, and Christine, because their cards are absolutely amazing. And I absolutely love that every single one is slightly different, which makes it even more special. So when these elements are ready, then we have to decorate the smaller triangles. And I'm not going to measure it perfectly. I'm going to show you my trick here. So I'm going to place my triangle here and make sure I've got a white border. Then I'm going to make a pencil mark on both the edges. And when this is ready, I'm going to put 2 here and I'm going to cut it together, which will save me some time as well. I'm going to repeat the process on the other side and then use my trimmer again from Craft Stash. And this is really, really cool. Not only it is quick, but it will look professionally finished. And that's exactly what we want. So as you can see, my trimmer can easily cut 2 pieces of card at the same time. Do you have your favorite trimmer in your stash? If you do, please let me know which one is it. I really, really want to know. If you struggle to cut a little bit off, you can always use your scissors just to have that professional finish. And as you can see, this one, when you have pencil marks, it makes it so much easier. So I'm going to place it along my cutting line here and then use the blade. Super quick and simple. So now it will be time to assemble all those smaller triangles inside of my card. And decisions. How do you want to decorate your project? For today's card, I decided to use my new collection called White Elegance. I really like it, and I thought it would be perfect for any birthday card. And that will be the theme for my diamond squash card. So I think that gold and white really go well together. So I couldn't resist, and that's why I did it here. So now I'm going to apply all those other triangles, and this is super simple. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit. As you can see, they might be slightly different because we use trimmer. It doesn't really matter, but in the end, everything will be professionally finished. And if you do like fancy folds, please join our Facebook group because it is absolutely amazing. And as I told you, every single month is dedicated to a different fancy fold. And it is a challenge, so we try to learn and challenge ourselves as well, which I think is really cool. And as I told you, the whole challenge is hosted by Monika PaperMona. If you click on the hashtag FFC Challenge 2023, you will see all other videos and projects created by other crafters. And this is really cool. And this challenge is for fun as well. So when this is ready, now, as you can see, the card folds really cool. And as I told you, you can use 5 by 7 inches envelope, or you can create a box for your card. Now, let's use my beautiful collection called White Elegance, but I'm only going to use the leftovers from my previous project. And I do encourage you to have a look at your stash because you probably have some absolutely stunning elements from your beautiful design papers. So I've got 3 panels and that will measure 3.5. So I'm going to create the mark at 1 3/4, and this one is 5.5. So I need to make a mark at 2 3/4. And I'm going to repeat the process on all 3 elements. So again, it is 5.5 by 3.5 of an inch, and I'm going to put a pencil mark exactly in the middle, which is 1 3/4 and 2 3/4. And now I'm going to use my trimmer to create those diamonds. Super quick and simple. And if you do like fancy folds, I really hope you will create your own version. If not with diamond, maybe with a square. So let's have a look. I'm going to put all those elements here. And if you're not happy with how the design paper works, you can always rotate it, which I think is really cool. And I really wanted to achieve some contrast in this card. That's why I do have some gold leaves here, but also some green and white flowers as well, just for extra interest. And I think that this leaf pattern here works very well with the gold paper from Crafter's Companion. If you like this color combo, please let me know in the comments down below. And if you like my white elegance collection, that you can see those 2 pieces here, at the moment on my YouTube channel, I'm running a giveaway. So, if you like to get it for free, check my first day of First Communion project when I show you how to get my collection for free. So, as you can see, I put 2 triangles together, and again, I'm going to use my trick with a pencil. So, when I've got those marks, I'm going to repeat that process and then use my trimmer to cut the excess off. And when all those elements will be ready, I'm going to put them on my card. So this is super quick and simple. All you have to do is to use a good trimmer. If you do have your preferred one, please let me know in the comments down below. Again, I'm going to use my liquid glue because I do have time to maneuver the elements. And as you can see, there might be some slight variations with the triangles. But to be honest, I'm not very worried. I absolutely love this card. I really like how it turned out, and I'm pretty sure I will make this one again for a different occasion. And if you do like creating squash cards, please let me know which occasion do you think would be the best to create a squash card or any other fancy folds. So, when these elements are ready, all we have to do is to create those big triangles that will go in the middle of the card. And again, don't forget, it has to be slightly smaller than the gold card. So let's do it together. I've got my scoring board, and this one is 3 inches by 5 inches. I'm going to make a mark at 2.5 and 1.5 of an inch, which is the middle of my panel. So again, it is 3 inches. I'm going to make a mark at 1.5. At 5 inches, I'm going to make a mark at 2.5 of an inch. Now it will be time to create those diamonds and cut them in half. If you struggle with following those instructions here, don't forget you can always pause the video and check the measurements again. And this is really cool with YouTube videos. So my diamonds are nearly done. All I have to do now is to cut them in half. So this is really easy, especially with a trimmer. So I'm going to place it again where my cut line is on my trimmer, and I'm going to create those triangles. And that will be everything when it comes to mats and layers for my diamond squash card. And then you can decorate it the way you want. However, I don't recommend any bulk inside of your card, because this way it will be very tricky to close it. But I'm going to add some elements from my white Elegance collection, which I fussy cut, and you'll see all the flowers in a moment. But first, let's put those elements on the card, and I really like the gold border here. I think it's really cool and elegant as well, which goes very well with my white Elegance collection. So, when these panels are ready, I fussy cut some of the white flowers, and today I decided to stick with white roses. I really like those flowers, and I thought they'll be just perfect for this diamond squash card. So now let's create those elements. So let's have a look. I've got some of them beautiful roses here, and it's always a good idea to do a dry run first before you start assembling all those elements. And this way, everything will be exactly where you want. And with those roses, I really wanted to go with symmetry. So I used exactly the same elements from my collection, but I did rotate them. So you actually have two roses that will look both ways, which I think is really cool. So when this is ready, all we have to do is decorate the front of the card. And there is plenty of space to write your message on the back as well, which I think is really cool. So for the front, I only chose one single rose. I thought that would be enough. And from my stash, I die cut the sentiment using the same gold card. The sentiment is in Polish, which says on your birthday. I'm going to start with the longest word first, and then I'm going to put those two other words. And you know me, you know how much I love diamonds and pearls. So today I decided to use some pearls from my stash to finish off the front of the card. And I'm going to put them in the corners, and I think that adds so much interest to the card. It is very subtle, but it really works. And what do you think about the finished card? Do you like it? I really hope you do. There is plenty of space to write your message. And don't forget about our hashtag FFC Challenge 2023. And May is dedicated to squash cards, and I would really, really like it if you join our Facebook group. Here you can see some other fabulous tutorials with squash cards. If you like some of them, please let me know in the comments down below. Have a wonderful day, and see you in my next video, which is actually tomorrow, personalized card. Have a wonderful day and happy crafting!